tried to get our money back, but it's non-refundable.
Yeah.
We're never gonna die!
Ugh. I just like passed on myself right there. That was kind of sad. So everyone's in quarantine. The world's probably ending. I live in Utah and there was an earthquake yesterday. And I genuinely thought the world was ending for a bit. Peep the Last Jedi poster back there. I'm just gonna say this now. Last Jedi was the best Star Wars movie of all of them. I don't really mean that, but it was really good and everyone's mean about it. And now that we have some perspective, I think we all need to just reevaluate because I think it's literally one of my favorite ones. Force Awakens is my favorite Star Wars movie. Last Jedi is my second favorite Star Wars movie. My third favorite Star Wars movie is Empire Strikes Back. My fourth favorite Star Wars movie is A New Hope. And my fifth favorite Star Wars movie is the first half of Return of the Jedi. I don't like the second half that much. The prequels don't rank. Sorry, they're painful to watch. And Rise of Skywalker doesn't rank because it broke my heart. So, I haven't done a sketchbook tour in a while. And it seems like the right time now that God and nature and the government have forced me into my home. I'm gonna be going through this sketchbook. Peep the Last Unicorn sticker. I got that at Comic-Con. This sketchbook was a few months ago. I guess it was in 2019, so it was September to October. Let's call this the Plague sketchbook. I'm gonna try to make it as short and snappy as I can, because I don't want to have to spend a lot of time editing this. I've got a Last Jedi mug and a Last Jedi poster. I'm really just manifesting here. Alright, I'm zooming in on this page because it has my personal info on it, and I don't want that getting out. You know how it is. I've been listening to a lot of true crime. I'm not, in the mood to get murdered. This was a little, Inktober sketch. Inktober was actually pretty good last year. I had a good time. So I was in a character design class last year, and it was, my favorite class that I've ever taken. In my program, it was just I learned so much. It's really just not great, these first few pages, just because I was kind of breaking in the sketchbook, so I wasn't really expecting myself to make it look nice. This was a character design I did for a character lineup as a project for my character design class. You can find the full lineup on my Instagram, Middlemanin. But yeah, I felt like my character design class really fit with what I like to do and helped me a lot, sort of learn how to do good character design and just kind of improved my art in general. Anyway, the first few sketches in this sketchbook are not my fave, but that's okay. So this was the beginning of September, so this was the beginning of fall semester. I was sort of just getting into the hang of things. I like that face right there. I like the lack of a chin. Yeah, this sketchbook reminds me a lot of my character design class, just because I used it a lot in that class. That was a guy in my class. That was, I think, my first attempt at drawing him, and then my second attempt. So I was studying, these are studies of other artists who drew some heads, and I was sort of studying how they do, gesture of the head and all that. And then we had a head assignment where we were just supposed to draw a bunch of heads. So a lot of them I did out of scribbles. I also tried to do them out of popcorn, but it didn't work as well. Anyway, so these ones I think that were kind of out of popcorn and also some scribbles. And then these ones were the ones I really did, random scribbles, and then trying to make heads out of them. This was a very fun assignment. I had a lot of fun with this. I think I just like finding heads in shapes, random shapes. It's a good exercise, especially not going with the first thing you think you see. Everything looks like a big nose when you have a scribble, but trying to find different ways of describing that shape. This was a page dedicated to Julia Jacqueline's music video, Head Alone. It was one of my favorite music videos of last year. I just kept watching it over and over, and it's really simple. It just kind of starts with her holding on to this man and then running away. These were part of a project. This was part of class where we would go out into the building and find a mark, which is like you find a person and you try to remember what they look like. And then you come back to class, like, holding that person in your mind, and you try to draw them as best as you can from memory. Here are a few more heads, I think. I'm trying not to be too precious about my sketchbook, but then sometimes I look back and I'm like, wish my sketchbook was prettier. This was based off of an idea I had of, like, a younger me meeting current me. Who's that sad-looking creature right there? At the beginning of fall semester, I was kind of feeling like this, and I wanted to sort of shake myself out of that. Still kind of in the process. I just, like, was going through some things and felt really overwhelmed by, I don't know, fear and, like, inadequacy and feeling like I wasn't a good artist and, like, why was I even studying art and all this stuff, and it was annoying, and I was just, like, also really angry. It was just a lot, and I've worked through a lot of it, and I'm feeling better now, but yeah, it was a real moment. There's a little toad. I'm working on a project that I need to learn how to draw toads with, so that's fun. So I think this is also a lot of projects. I'm trying to develop looks for these characters. So I've gone through, like, a lot of different styles of this character. That's how I was feeling. That looks kind of like 11 from season 2 Stranger Things. The best 11 look. This was a study of a raven or a crow, I can't tell them apart, by Peter Sev, who's one of my recent more favorite artists. He worked as a character designer on Ice Age and also a few other movies. So he designed, like, Sid the Sloth and stuff. His work is just great. I think you should look it up. Draw ugly. I went in for a meeting with Luyan Pham. I think is how you say her name. Sorry if I'm messing it up. She came to the school and was doing sort of portfolio reviews, and I sort of got in there, and she told me I need to draw uglier. Which I was like, that's actually pretty good advice. I feel like I sometimes, like, feel a little stiff, and I just need to let go and draw uglier. So I put that in there, and it kind of echoed through my cranium for a while and helped me sort of loosen up. Here's some really loose sketches, just kind of getting out ideas. I like this one. I think this is kind of cute. I was trying to draw, like, a landscape really quickly. It wasn't that successful, but I'll try again. I want to get better at environments and sort of applying stuff I already know about drawing and art to, like, landscapes and stuff. This is a busy page. I think I was drawing just straight with ink, which is fun. I think I was drawing this lady, who I can't remember who she was. Here's, like, some clothing design that I was thinking of for this character. I was sort of trying to figure out how to draw a bathrobe. This is just, like, a very long man. Or boy. Very long boy right here. And then I was drawing other people who were drawing. Or, like, on their computers. I think that looks like Elton John. I might have been watching Rocket Man, I don't know. This was another mark for class, my character design class. Again, back to my character design class. I just felt like it totally spoke to me. Just, like, every like, thing we learned, I was so, like, absorbing. And I, like, still have sort of in my toolbox, which is unique for me because I have a bad memory and also I'm sometimes, like, slow to learn things. So it was really a unique experience for me to sort of, like, totally understand what the teacher was saying and, like, understanding why I was implementing what I was, and I don't know. It just, like, it was an epiphany of a class. Just every class I was like, whoa. I never realized why this character design worked, or, you know, good stuff. Here's more of that other character. My first, like, real use of color in the sketchbook. There's another little spot of color. Oh, there's Elton John. This is My roommate's cat, Stitch. We love him, even though he's a little bit evil. A mermaid. Gotta have one. These were some like costume studies from Pinterest. I was just like looking at, or maybe not Pinterest. I think I have like some costume sheets from a while ago, and I was trying to study from those for Inktober. This seems to be just a page of just straight up heads, just heads. I like that guy, and I like that, whatever that is. This is cool Manon. This is the Manon I wish I could be all the time. Duck. This was something we were talking about in class, about how you can learn how to draw anything just from, like, understanding its basic shapes. You really just gotta break things down to its bare essentials. I kind of like this sketch. There's not a lot of context to it. I just wanted to draw something, like, Atlantis-like, you know? I had, like, one pink marker in my pencil case, and I think I used it up in this sketchbook. I've been listening, last semester I was listening to Big Yellow Taxi by Joni Mitchell a lot. Old men, old grumpy men. There was another little Inktober. At the beginning of Inktober, I was just kind of focusing on like little sketches, and then I sort of got into doing a little bit more like finished pieces. That's a drawing throwback. This is a drawing of Winter from 11 Thumps. I did a lot of exploration for this project I'm doing. I'm still doing it, actually. I'm, like, doing it while I'm in quarantine, because I finally have time. This is a sketch of a fairy or pixie that I actually finished. I pasted over these pages because some of them, the sketches I didn't like. I like this lady. Yeah, this was my first Inktober that I felt like I kind of settled on a style of, illustration that I wanted to continue doing. It was really fun. It was a really productive Inktober. Here's another one. I like this one because I really like the red Prismacolor underneath. The hand I really screwed up. I don't know what I was thinking. Here's another Inktober. It's like a housewife from the 50s. This was an attempted Inktober that I didn't really like because I can't draw hats. This was my, like, final, like, thumbnail. This, like, really sketchy thumbnail for a piece that looks really different, like, extremely different from this. But this was the general idea. This was, like, a failed Inktober that I did not like. It was supposed to be, like, kind of a Frankenstein lady. There's some spooky mermaids. This was an Inktober I did, just a really quick one. This was for heads. This was a project on trying to make a character look consistent. This was Inktober I quite liked. I think my roommate told me to draw a witch with a funky hat or something. Here are some sketches for Inktober that sort of got made into bigger pieces. Like this one. That one I was planning on doing but didn't actually finish. This is a sketch of my roommate on the couch. This was a design for character design. I was supposed to design a hunter. This was a failed Inktober. I did it really quickly and then did not like it and just didn't post it and didn't like it. This was a prop design page where I was designing props for the hunter character. I really like these pans, and I like the dog bowl and the lamp, and the RV is pretty fun too. I don't know, I like prop design actually. It's kind of fun. And this looks like kind of an angst drawing. It's good to get it out. This one is sort of is an idea that I finished. It's actually, I think I have it. This book. Yeah, I finished that idea, but changed it to a man and a big python in this sketchbook. Anyway, a vampire and Frankenstein. I think it's cute. This one, I have no clue what the story is here. I don't know if it even has a story. I just liked these two characters. That was another more of the mark. I was just pasting it in here because it had space. Sorry I'm not going super specific. Sometimes I can't remember what exactly it's for, and then sometimes I'm just like, I don't know, I just don't want to give away all of my ideas. I was supposed to do an illustration for French hens. 3 French hens from the 12 Days of Christmas. So those are some sketches for that. The one figure drawing session I went to that semester, I drew some sketches in my sketchbook of the model. This is another Inktober. This one I think was one of my favorites that I did. It went through like lots of sketchiness, and then I finally like zeroed in on what I wanted it to look like, and then drew it, and it was fun. I still like it a lot. These are more figure drawings from that figure drawing workshop. I like this one specifically just because I like the gesture of it. And that was another like closer sketch. This was another mark. This is actually my favorite mark. I named her Linda, but it was just this woman. But I enjoy her design. She was very like lanky and long. That's a more like exaggerated face for her. The figure drawing session I went to at 10:17 a.m. and it was 5 minutes. That was a highlighter sketch I did that came out kind of fun. I like the bright like fluorescent colors. And those are just like really quick head drawings of people. These were some sketches for a finished illustration for a character design project I was doing. I went for something sort of like that and this like mixed together. This was a Inktober drawing that drastically went through lots of changes. I like drew this, which is all well and good, and then I put it into my iPad and just sort of like changed the whole thing, made the owl like much smaller, made her like a lot rounder, just tried to get it more dramatic and like pushing the gesture and the shape and stuff, and I think it turned out a lot better than this original sketch. These were designs for Yuki Onna, which was a painting I was doing. It's actually over there in the corner. I can show you. So this was the finished oil painting that I did for my illustration 2 class. I actually like the outcome of it. I like the colors. I like the composition. I was sort of speeding to finish it, but I liked how it turned out. Here's another oil painting. This was a master copy of a Leyendecker illustration. So yeah, not my original work, but it was an oil painting master copy to sort of start to learn oils and such. So this was another Inktober piece. I was sort of going off of the Frankenstein and vampire character from before. These are just basic shapes. I was just trying to get, like, you know, basic shapes of different characters. I was designing the French hen character. I never really actually developed that into, like, a full finished piece or anything. Her arms are a little small, but maybe that's just because her head looks huge. I had this idea of Medusa, like, doing pottery. This was like a very last minute Inktober sketch I did that I was sort of running out of time, and like I was trying to redraw this drawing and it just wasn't working. And then I drew this and it sort of worked. This was a sketch for a more finished Inktober piece I did that you can also find on my Instagram, the finished one. It's a pangolin. Love a good pangolin. Aren't they so cute? Can you have them as pets? I don't know, but I want one. That was more of that same mark, that one girl with short hair and big glasses. I was just kind of fitting her over drawings I didn't like. I like this little man. He's so little. This little mustachioed gentleman. If he had a name, his name would be Gringus. That's not a good name. His name would be Roshando. These are very loose sketches for characters I later sort of adapted. This was a sketchbook I had around the same time, or at least right after or something. And I filled it up pretty quickly. It's like very thin pages, and I'm just going to flip through and not try to focus on anything too much. That's Mermaidia fan art. Love Mermaidia. All the Barbie movies. Seriously. The Barbie cinematic universe goes underappreciated yet again. There's Alina. I love the Barbie movies. They're just so quality, and like no one appreciates them. Anne of Green Gables. A character. His name's Enzo Kim. I created him. He's evil and a ghost. And this is Martha, and she raises him from the dead, and that's kind of their whole thing. And I was using them as characters. We were supposed to create a ghost and a normal person or something. A ghost, or a hero and a villain. That's what it was. So these were my hero and villain. She's my hero, little Martha. And she gets into necromancy and raises this guy, Enzo Kim. And just like all hell breaks loose. He just like ruins her life. And then she has to, you know, destroy him. And that was kind of my idea. And these are just sketches sort of like working out their personalities. He's like very suave and awful, and she's just very nervous, and you know, she's basically just all of us. I was doing a lot of Sweeney Todd fan art. That's one thing the coronavirus did take from me. I was gonna go see Little Shop of Horrors at my university, and then it got canceled the day I was gonna go see it, and I'm still sad about it because that's like my favorite musical I've never seen. And it's okay, I'll get over it. Anyway, that's another Sweeney Todd thing. I am really a musical kid at heart, I think. This paper was so thin that like I would draw an original drawing like this, and then I would go over it and sort of like draw it again, but like better. Some ideas for like a painting that I didn't do. I ended up doing the other painting instead. Some dancing gestures. That is Joanna from Sweeney Todd. Joanna and Frick, what's his name? Joanna and Anthony. Sweeney Todd, Sweeney Todd. Sweeney Todd and Little Shop are like my favorite musicals. I really like the dark stuff. Like the dark comedy is great. My roommate, Will Byers, and a hand. Sorry, I'm just going very quickly through this because I want it to be documented, but it's not like worth its own video. This is another thing where I drew an original drawing. This is Wednesday and her boyfriend, Frick, I forgot his name. Some baby Yodas. It's around the time I was watching The Mandalorian, which I love. More sketches for that Yuki Onna oil painting. That was like the final for my illustration class, which was basically just learning how to oil paint. More Sweeney Todd, just really rough sketches. My favorite Mrs. Lovett drawing, just the chaotic energy of it. That's Kylo Ren. Those are some promotional images for Rise of Skywalker, which really did break my heart. I won't go into it, but I didn't like it that much, unfortunately. But I did love Adam Driver. He was perfect. Literally nothing he did was wrong. He did everything perfectly and deserved to be in a better movie. I wanted to go see Much Ado About Nothing. It was really great. And I was like sort of sketching the costumes in the dark, so it didn't turn out very well. Those ones were kind of fun. Like a masquerade. That was at the masquerade part. Sorry, I don't mean to like go Sonic speed here, but I don't really care about a lot of this stuff. I just want it documented. This has no context. It's just kissing. Just straight up kissing. Sometimes you gotta practice drawing kissing. It's weird. Just drawing two heads mashed together. It's weird. That like is not what real kissing looks like, but that's the best I can do. I was gonna do like a Kylo Ren poster, which I did sort of end up doing, but it didn't look like this. Alright, we're almost done. That was one of my characters for the lineup. She sort of ended up looking kind of like this, but pretty different actually. Another character for the lineup. He was the token male of my lineup. Kind of looks like a gorilla a little bit. That was like my final sketch for my Yuki Onna piece. Those are very rough sketches of Martha and her friend. I forgot her name. I didn't really name her, I don't think. Maybe I did, but... Very loose sketch of Chris Fleming. And then I was drawing Titania, or Titania, as I used to call her, from Midsummer Night's Dream. And then that's kind of what I ended on. There's a drawing of her. Those are my two main sketchbooks for my fall semester in 2019. And I felt like they were pretty good in terms of like, I got a lot of ideas out, and I usually use my sketchbook as like idea launching, and then I sort of did more finished pieces. So that was good. And then I have this one, which was like the beginning of my 2020 semester, which, you know, has been kind of going downhill recently with the
school kind of being over thing. But, you know, it's all gonna be okay. And I'm gonna do this one next.
Thanks for watching if you watched all the way through that. Thank you for indulging me and wanting to document my sketchbooks. Some of them slip through the cracks, so not all of my sketchbooks get documented, and then they just kind of get put on a shelf, and I don't feel like going back and looking at them. So it's nice to have them, like on the internet, where I can sort of easily come back to them and see what's up with that specific period of time in my life, and this is a pretty interesting one. So yeah, stay safe, and goodbye.